Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back. If you're a fan of tech, make sure you subscribe and join the crew. Get notified for all videos just like this. But today we're going to be talking about G Stylus against the LG Stylo 6. We're getting multiple camera setups on both devices. We're getting really premium designs as well as the stylus feature on both of these devices. Now, which one is right for you? Which one is overall going to be a better value for you and your hard-earned money? All right, so I want to start with when these two phones released. Now we have April 16th on the Moto G Stylus, and we have May 20th on the Stylo 6. So they're a month apart as far as release dates, and overall they're offering a lot of different things for both of the consumer and the average person who's looking to spend money on these two devices. Now, most consumers who are looking at these two devices are budget minded. They have their wallets in mind as well as their tech. So they're not gonna pour out more than $300 on a phone, which either of these phones are not more than. They're both lower than $300 depending on where you get them. So we're going to talk all about price, build, performance, battery, and cameras. So hopefully that is something that is interesting to you. But first, you can see the thing that makes them really stand apart is the overall size factor. Now on the LG Stylo 6, we're getting a 6.8-inch display, which is basically an IPS screen to cut cost. They're not going to make this AMOLED because AMOLED screens cost double the price. And we also do get an IPS display on the G Stylus as well. So they actually cut costs with the displays on both of these phones. So you're getting IPS displays. They're both full HD and they're both 1080 and they're both really nice. Now, these phones both do have the Type-C charging on the bottom, which is really nice. They also do have the stylo pens, which we will talk about the difference between the two stylo pens in a little bit. Now, one of the two things that I like about both of these devices is that they both have dual speakers, guys. Now, the dual speakers on both of these phones sound extremely good when you're watching movies and when you're watching content and music. Now we're getting 395 pixels per inch on the LG Stylo 6, and on the Moto G Stylus we're actually getting 399, so about 4 or 5 more pixels per inch on the screen of the Moto G Stylus. Now the Moto G Stylus features a punch hole cutout, so we're getting a large amount of screen display to work with. We're getting precisely 83.7 per screen to body percentage. Now with the LG Stylo 6, we are actually getting 82.5 screen to body ratio. So these displays are going to offer you a really good content driven, media heavy and user experience. Now that when it comes to the displays, they're both really bright, and in outdoors they can get plenty bright, but if you hold them directly to the sun, you will notice a little bit of screen reflecting going on, which is going to interfere with your content that you're looking at, which usually happens with phones that are IPS displays. So that is nothing that is gonna, for me to bellyache or throw a tantrum over. These phones are really good and solid for under $200. Both of these phones should be, but we did get the G Stylus at $299 on Amazon, and if you go to Metro by T-Mobile, you can get it for a lot less. And the same thing with the Moto G Stylus is like $199 on Metro. It should be. Now the LG Stylo 6 is around $189, or the same amount of money. But if you got it early, you spent more money to get it early. So just keep that in mind, is that they're both going to give you pretty hefty prices, about $250 tops you should spend for either one of these devices if you really want to get either one of them. Now, when it comes to the software on both of these devices, they are running Android 10, and actually they are performing really nicely. But there's one thing that differentiates the performance on both of these devices, and that's the processing chips that they're using. Now, we have a MediaTek processing chip for the LG Stylo 6, and we have a Snapdragon processor for the Moto G Stylus. So the screen displays are pretty different. They're 6.4 versus 6.8. Not a dramatic difference, but when holding both of these phones in your hand, you will notice that the LG Stylo 6 is a little bit more burdensome as far as how big it is and how much you have to really hold on to it. It's really something that is a solid handset as far as being able to hold it. It's almost like a remote controller, it feels like, in your hand, whereas this actually feels like a phone size. So it has a different form factors than most phones, which kind of makes it stand out. You're also getting this really nice Aurora glow on the back of it, which kind of reminds me like the back of a CD in some ways, but not as much as my G90, which is really reflective. Now the Moto G Stylus gives you like a vibe where it's like black and purple and blue all at the same time. So they just give you a nice vibe as far as the overall, you know, the screens and the colors of them. Now, when it comes to the storage on both of these devices, we're getting 64 gigabytes of internal storage here, 50 to work with out of box, and 128 gigabytes of internal storage here to work with right out of the box. So there's a large amount of storage on this display, this phone versus this one. So that's one of the benefactors. Also, you're going to be able to get a faster chipset. It's 11 nanometer processing chip. It's clocked in at 2.0 gigahertz, and it's also giving you 4 gigabytes of RAM on top of that with an Adreno 610. So the LG Stylo 6 does have a E35 clocked in at 12 nanometers, and it's also clocked in at 2.3 gigahertz. But the thing is that it's going to be a little bit cursed by the 3 gigabytes of RAM that are on board, which means that it won't be the snappiest. However, it will be performance sufficient, so you will be able to get some pretty good performance out of it, although it does have 3 gigabytes of RAM. Now, as far as the triple camera setups on the LG Stylo 6, this is actually really cool. They offer you a really nice camera setup on the front. It's a 13 megapixel, but you're getting these 3 cameras to play around with. The 13 megapixel camera is a wide angle. You're getting the 5 megapixel, which is also an ultra wide angle, and then you're getting the 5 megapixel depth sensor, which is going to help with bokeh shots. So then they give you the 13 megapixel on the front. Now, as far as the Moto G Stylus, we're getting some really nice cameras to play around with as well. You can see we got a triple camera setup here as well. So that's something that's really desirable. Now, the difference with this one is that it's going to be able to record in 4K as well as 1080, 60, and 30, and you're going to be able to get the wide angles as well on this phone. So it does have that 48 megapixel main camera, then you're getting the 16 megapixel ultra wide, and then you're getting the 2 megapixel macro, which you can take dedicated videos with. And if you want to take pictures on the ultra wide, you would have to take a video first and then take the picture from the video on this one, whereas the LG Stylo 6 will let you take pictures straight from the ultra wide. So the interface on the cameras of the both phones is quite impressive. When you look at the Moto G Stylus, for example, it's feature packed. It has a lot of cool features to play around with here, whereas the LG does have some features, but there's just not as many to play around with. You could see right here. So they're just offering you on the G Stylus a larger feature set and different array of options to play around with. However, I do like the steady recording on both cameras. They do have some really impressive camera photography. If you guys want me to do a dedicated camera comparison of both of these devices, let me know as well, because that would definitely definitely be cool. But when it comes to the charging aspect of both devices, this is where they are really similar as well. You're getting the Type-C ports on the bottom, then they both support Type-C 2.0, and they're actually giving you a Bluetooth 5.0 on the LG Stylo 6, meaning it's the most up-to-date Bluetooth frequency. So you're going to be able to, actually that's going to be available on the Moto G Stylus, whereas you're getting Bluetooth 5.0 on both of these devices, meaning that you're going to get the latest Bluetooth frequency. You're also getting 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi as well. They just offer a lot of options. Like I know this one has screencast, whereas the LG Stylo 6 does not have screencast, but it does offer you NFC in replacement of that, and you do get this spring-loaded pen stylus, which is really good, and you get some software that you can mess around with the pen as well. I just find it really tremendous features that are being offered on such low priced phones in 2020. And I also find that the Moto G Stylus offers a tremendous experience as well with that pen function included. The LG Stylo series has always been priced around $179, and the Moto G Stylus should be priced around $200, so about $20 difference. You're getting 4,000 milliamp hour batteries, and in my testing I've noticed that the Moto G Stylus held up a little bit longer, maybe a few hours longer. In my experience, I was able to get almost 2 days versus a day and a half with the LG Stylo 6. So when it came to the battery performance, I definitely would give the edge to the Moto G Stylus. As far as cameras, I would give it to the Moto G Stylus because of the 4K embodiment that they're offering, as well as pixel binning with the 48 megapixel camera, where you're able to get more high quality shots with photography and more camera modes as well. As far as the pen features, I would give it to the LG Stylo 6. It's offering more pen features, and you're able to get, like more productivity with some of the software that they offer in the phone. Now, as far as price, it's definitely going to go to the LG Stylo 6 because it's a little bit less, but as far as overall package, the Moto G Stylus would definitely be a little bit more desirable in my opinion, because you're getting a lot more storage and better performance when it comes to gaming, which is something that I really like to do. And I'm also a really big fan of photography in the mobile departments. But overall, both of these phones fancy my needs plenty, and they're actually really nice and solid in every way that I've used them. And they've been my daily drivers both for the last few months, on and off. So I would highly recommend these two devices. I think that they're really good for the price point of under $200. If you're gonna spend more than that, then there's obviously better options out there. But this is my quick breakdown of both of these devices. And also with the LG Stylo 6, you're getting 10 watts fast charging on here, so just keep that in mind. And you will be only limited to the, for the charging on the Moto G Stylus, it's a pretty similar speed as well, so about 15 watts on the Moto G Stylus, but they charge pretty similarly. I must be getting a notification on here. And honestly, let me know down below what you guys feel about both of these devices. A lot of people just read off the specs and then they say this one's better because it has a higher number compared to the other one, but sometimes you have to do real life testing and figure it out for yourself, or watch videos like this that break it down for you. But for overall value to money, obviously the Moto G Stylus nailed it here, but if you wanted an overall different form factor, something that would be completely different than what you're used to, a large 6.8 screen with a really nice variety of options with the LG Pen. You're also getting some really nice speakers on both of these devices. I can't emphasize that enough. They're both really loud. They both have a really immersive display, and they're both fun to use on a normal basis. So I really can't complain in any way possible with either of these guys. But it's your boy Serrano. Let me know down below which one you do prefer overall as the better device, and I'll see you guys later on the next video. But if you found this video helpful, make sure you stay locked in for more videos just like this, and get notified and hit the bell icon so you don't miss another video from your boy. But I'll check you guys later. In the meantime, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and depending on where you are, have a great night. Later, crew. Peace.